Most people don't get what it's really like when you're in the worst environment possible, when the thing around you is crumbling and everyone's just sitting there eyes wide like, man, I hope this ends soon. Time starts to slow down and you can feel it. Everyone's got that look like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. But here's what I started to figure out. I wasn't just surviving, I was playing mind games. I started thinking, you know what? These motherfuckers watching us right now, judging, thinking about their own hell week. I bet they're standing there like, let me see how Goggins stacks up. I was better than him. And I'm like, okay, motherfuckers, you want to judge me? All right, let's see what you got. They try to tell you how you're supposed to feel. They try to break you before you even break a sweat. But I was like, nah, motherfucker, this is day one. This is first hour. So I got my head locked in, jacked myself up. We're going to take these motherfuckers' souls. The moment they had us doing basic shit and guys around me were struggling, I watched the instructors' faces. It was like someone ripped their souls out. I looked at my crew and said, hey, we own these motherfuckers' heads now. We're living rent free. They're going to be thinking about us all night long. And that's the fuel. You just need 1 second of power to take someone's soul. And once you've done that, you've got all the energy in the world. You see it when you break someone, when you look in their eyes and they're like, fuck, I don't want to go another round. And in that moment, you realize, hell yeah, I could go all fucking day. That's what it means to take a soul. But here's the thing, man, you got to have the will, the heart, and the fucking guts to push past the breaking point when you're completely drained. And there's nothing left in the tank and then keep going. I'm not talking theory here. I'm a practitioner. I've been in hell and I've dissected the shit out of it. You can't figure this out in comfort. You can't sit in a cozy 72-degree room and learn jack shit. You got to throw yourself into the fire or the freezer, make it fucking hurt. Only then, when your brain is screaming, get me the fuck out to here, can you really start to dissect it. And that's when you whisper to yourself, just 5 more seconds, motherfucker. Just 5 more seconds in the freezer. That's where you break it down. That's when you figure out what you're truly made of. Man, you know what all that pain, all that suffering did to me? It put me right back in the fire in the freezer over and over again, beating the living fuck out of myself mentally and physically. And before I even knew it, something crazy happened. See, most of us fail in life because we're too damn worried about what other people think. That's a fact, 100% truth. We walk around acting like everyone else has their shit together, putting people on a fucking pedestal like they're better than us. I did that for years, man. I thought everybody was better than me, so I couldn't even tell you who I really was. I was scared shitless that you judge me, and I'd feel even worse than I already did. Man, David Goggins, he was a quiet, soft little kid, getting his ass kicked growing up, had to lie just to get people to be his friend, to feel like he belonged somewhere. My whole life was about pretending to be someone I wasn't. I had to create a whole new motherfucker to pull myself out of that bullshit comfort zone. That new dude, that was Goggins. It didn't happen overnight. It took hitting rock bottom, realizing I wasn't shit. I wasn't going anywhere. I was exactly what everyone said I'd be, nothing. So I made a decision. I wasn't going to stay that way. Goggins is like that motherfucker who steps out of the phone booth like Superman. But here's the wild part. I have these talks between David Goggins, and Goggins is out there doing all this crazy shit, pushing limits. And David Goggins is sitting there like, what the fuck are you doing, man? This is insane. It's this constant battle trying to dig deeper, knowing the real me is scared, craving comfort, wanting that pat on the back, that easy life where everything is handed to you. But that's not where greatness lives. And when people listen to this, they're going to slap a label on me. They're going to try and make it easier for themselves. They'll say, this guy was just born different. He unlocked some crazy shit in his brain and turned into this superhuman. Nah, man, that's just a way for people to feel better about not stepping up. It's their get out of jail free card. Because the truth, every damn day I wake up, I dread what I'm about to put myself through to get better. That's what fucked me up for years. My mind was trapped. My brain was in chains and I became a prisoner in my own damn head. I was constantly telling myself, this is all I can do because I'm scared. I'm insecure. I'm full of self-doubt. And behind me, shit, I didn't even want to look. I was too scared to see what was there. Here's the thing, man, your life gets real fucking small when you let fear run it. Instead of thinking I can crush all this shit if I just break down these walls, you stay stuck in that tiny box. That's where I was until I realized, fuck this, I can become a Navy SEAL. But let me be real with you, I was scared shitless of the water. Now think about that for a second. Why the fuck would I want to be a Navy SEAL when we don't just play in the water, we live in that shit? But my mind was telling me I'm going to do this, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. And if I didn't face that fear, no one would even know my name today. I mean, I was sitting behind Michelle Obama in book sales for a long time. And me just a dude who 21 years ago weighed 300 fucking pounds and could barely read or write. Now, I've got a book sitting 2 spots behind one of the most famous women in the world. And it's all because I stopped being afraid. When you break through those fears, the whole fucking world opens up. You unlock that door and all the possibilities you were too scared to see come flooding in. I used to think nobody understands the shit I'm going through. But guess what? If you keep that mindset, you're going to stay exactly where you are, stuck in the same sorry ass place. Everybody's going through some kind of shit. So when people act like no one gets them, I say this, you can find someone who does understand you, but you got to stop hiding. People get it, but you've got to be real with yourself. Stop running, stop bullshitting yourself and break down. And here's the truth, we suffer every damn day. That's the life we live. We do shit that sucks every day. So when the real shitty stuff comes, we're fucking ready for it. That's how I started to rise up. I got real comfortable being uncomfortable. And now that's just life. What I figured out is this, I saw myself as the weakest motherfucker God ever put on this earth. But you know what? I never blamed him. I wasn't looking for excuses. I didn't sit around asking why me. Instead, I made it my mission to change. I wanted to go from the weakest to the hardest motherfucker ever created. Did I get there? I don't know, but damn it, that was my goal. The real battle started when I kept hitting that wall. I'd feel like I was getting somewhere, but then some little windstorm would knock me right back to square one. Every fucking time. I'd ask myself, why can't I break through? I was teaching myself how to read, man. In high school, I had a 4th grade reading level because I cheated my way through everything. So I learned how to read, how to write, taught myself discipline. But every time a real challenge hit, that little wind would come by and push my ass right back into the hole. And that's when I realized I wasn't ready to face the real storms yet. I needed to get harder, stronger, more relentless. And that's what the fuck I did. Here's the truth, man. I realized I was only fixing shit on the surface. Everything I was doing was just a fucking cover up. I was all surface level. I wasn't going deep. I wasn't fixing the foundation of my soul. My soul was broken. But here's the thing, man. I knew I could fix it. I just didn't want to. I was fucking scared, man. I didn't want to go back and face the demons I had buried. So I did what we all do. I started lying. Lying to myself. Lying to everyone else. Pretending I was someone I wasn't. I was creating this fake ass person of who I wanted to be. But that wasn't who I really was. That's when it hit me. I was never going to get over the hump. I keep living on the surface, bullshitting my way through life until I went deep down into the sewer of my mind and started facing every last one of those demons. And let me tell you, that shit is hard, man. It's brutal. We all love posting the highlight reel of our lives on social media. We want people to see the version of ourselves we want to be. But that doesn't fucking fix you. That's just a mask. I want to be proud of the man I really am. I want to bury the liar, bury the insecure, weak ass guy I used to be. If I die today, I want to look at myself and say, fuck yeah, I'm proud of the man I became. For me, I'm always trying to find more of myself. And the only way to do that is to silence the world. This world is getting faster, louder, busier every damn day. And the more noise there is, the more you lose sight of who the fuck you really are. You've got to go dark. You've got to quiet your mind, shut out all the distractions. Stop trying to be around people all the time. We love to surround ourselves with noise people, parties, bullshit, but it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be unhappy. That's where the real growth happens. When you say to yourself, I'm fucked up, and you get real with the truth, you've got to step into those dark chambers of your mind, the ones you've been avoiding. Open those doors, walk right in, face that fucking demon, look that motherfucker in the eye and say, what's up? Let's fucking do this. You've got to go to that dark fucking place in your mind. That's where the real work starts. You sit there, face the shit you've been running from your whole life. It might take months, hell, it might take years, but you've got to figure it out. What's your purpose? What do you really want to be in life? Once you figure that out, everything changes. You accept the brutal truth. Maybe you're not made for certain shit, and that's okay. Not everyone's going to be a LeBron James. But let me tell you right now, there's a whole lot of shit you can do when you tap into pure guts, willpower, and that relentless drive to get through. We've got way more inside us than we ever fucking realize. But here's the problem, man. We like comfort. We like that soft ass person who says, hey man, it's cool if you don't feel good today. Take a break. Let's grab a pizza and chill. Yeah, we like that shit. But that's why so many people hate my ass, because I don't buy into that bullshit. I'm hard as fuck on myself, so I don't need your soft ass sympathy. I'm good. If I can push myself, I don't give a fuck about what you think or how you feel. People ask me, why do you still do this? You're a leader now, you've got thousands of people following you. That's exactly why I do it. Why do I get up at 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning? Because I'm setting the example. I don't get up for me anymore. It's not about me now. I'm good. I've made it. But now it's about the people watching me, the ones who need that push, that drive. It's about showing them what's possible when you stop making excuses and start grinding. People always ask, what drives you now? You want to know the answer. It's not about me anymore. I'm comfortable. I've got everything I need. But now it's payback time. It's about paying the bills for the people who need to see what it looks like to keep pushing when you've already made it. So when people ask, why do you get up at 6 a.m.? It's so I can walk in and set the fucking example. We all want to be the best among the average people, but I'm not about that life. That's weak shit. How do I stay hungry all the time? It's simple. I don't sit back and coast like these other guys who graduate buds or hit some other milestone and think they're done. They get comfortable. And then they wonder, why am I getting weak? Why am I losing my edge? You know why? Because when you hit the top of one mountain, you think you're good. But that's when the real danger kicks in. You start slipping, you get comfortable. And before you know it, you're back at the bottom. That's what separates the great from the mediocre. When I hit the top, I'm already looking for the next fucking mountain to climb. Most people don't do that. They hit one-time success, make some money, and think they're set. But that's mediocrity, man. These people hit the gym, get jacked, run fast, and think they've made it. But all they're doing is coding over their weak-ass mind. They're afraid to go deeper, afraid to push harder when there's nothing left. That's why they'll never know what it means to truly live at the top. And that's why I'll keep climbing, keep pushing, and never fucking settle. All you're doing is turning yourself into a bigger, stronger quitter, man. You're putting in the work physically, but your mind's still weak as fuck. When adversity hits again, you're standing there like, damn, I'm in great shape. Why the fuck am I still falling apart? Because you haven't built that mental callus. You haven't toughened up your mind, so you crumble like the same soft-ass person you were before. Life whooped my ass, man. It had me on the canvas, knocked the fuck out in the 12th round of a 15-round heavyweight fight. I was done. But guess what? In that 12th round, when life turned its back on me, I was crawling up off that fucking mat. And when I got up, I didn't just survive, I won the next 3 fucking rounds. That's my mindset. That's the can't hurt me mentality. I was broken, man, beaten for the first 26 years of my life. It was nothing but pain, but I kept coming. And I'm still coming every damn day. It ain't over. But that mindset, that unbreakable mentality is real. It means no matter what punches life throws at you, you take him, you face him, and you keep moving forward. My father, he beat the shit out of me. The bullies, the stuttering, the learning disabilities, everything life fucking threw at me. I was failing and failing and failing and failing. But you know what? I kept fucking going. If I didn't overcome that shit, it would have crushed me. But I kept creating this new version of myself, a person people started looking at like, this dude's a fucking superhero. But deep down, I knew the truth, man. I knew where I really came from. One day I said, fuck it, I got to share this story. I thought, do you have the balls to really go there, to take people back into your hell? But I had to do it because people need to know that this is fucking possible. I had to take people back and say, this is where I come from. I come from fucking hell. Look, man, people love to put labels on others, call them superhuman, give them titles. Why? Because it gives them a fucking excuse. Oh, they're the 1%ers. They're special. I could never be like that. Bullshit. There ain't no special people. There's just special minds. And you can build that mind yourself. That's why I wrote my story the way I did. To show people where I came from. To make them realize none of those titles mean a fucking thing. Strip away the crazy, strip away superhuman. It's just about building yourself brick by fucking brick. Here's the thing, man. You're going to grab my book, read the whole damn thing, or maybe you listen to the audiobook, whatever. But by the time you hit chapter 9 or 10, you've already fucking forgotten chapters 1, 2, and 3. You've already forgotten the hell I dragged myself through. That's how fast your mind starts softening you up. It whispers, this dude's just nuts. He's superhuman. You love the book, but your mind is trying to take the easy way out. It's telling you this shit is impossible. That's how sneaky your brain is. Man, it's already trying to guide you down that path of least resistance while you're still flipping through the damn pages. So here's what you got to do. Remind yourself. Go the fuck back to chapter 1, 2, and 3. Don't just breeze past it like it's some story about someone else's life. Those chapters, that shit is your life too, if you have the guts to make it so. But first, you've got to do a live autopsy on yourself. You got to dig deep into your own pain, your own struggles, and dissect that shit piece by piece. I'm out here training my mind, my body, and my spirit to become one fucking force. Because life is going to throw everything at you, and if you're not ready, if you're not physically, mentally, and spiritually prepared, you'll fucking crumble. And when you crumble, you're good for nobody, not even yourself. In times of suffering, people forget how fucking hard they are. That's what suffering does. It's a fucking test. That's all it is. Suffering is the ultimate test of who you are. Are you still the same weak person, or have you built yourself to withstand that shit? For me, when I hit that point, when I embrace that suffering, I find peace. That's where the real fucking peace is. That's what sets you apart from everybody else. So many people die with untapped potential because they fucking convinced themselves someone else is better, that they weren't born with the right tools. Fuck that. You need the ability to grind yourself down to a fine powder. And when you're in that fine powder, you find a way to build yourself back up again. Over and over, that's the grind. And trust me, it's fucking possible. Here's the thing, man, when it gets hard, when shit really starts to suck, that's when most people start pushing back. The tougher it gets, the more excuses they make. And then what do? They make it some kind of taboo to talk about it. Like, you are fat. Guess what? I was fucking fat too. And that's why I can say, go ahead, try and call me out. I've been there. I know exactly what it's like to drag your fat ass out of bed every single morning, fighting to change. But here's the truth. I can't want it more than you. Too many people out here are looking for the easy way out. And I'm telling you right now, it doesn't fucking exist. Sorry, man, there's no easy button. So what do people do? They start building this bullshit narrative in their heads, telling themselves it's okay, but it's not fucking okay. What they need to hear is, you need to work harder. You need to discipline your mind better. But instead, we've got people giving out participation trophies for life. It's okay has become the standard, and that's unacceptable. You can't sit around not helping yourself and expect shit to change. That's not okay. Look, man, if you're willing to accept that weak mindset, that's unacceptable. I've seen a lot of people, myself included, who would have never gotten anywhere if we accepted that mindset. But what do people do? They create this fucking narrative that makes it okay to stay soft. It's like the ultimate get out of jail free card. And the world today is handing out those cards like candy. Everything is okay. And nobody can say a damn thing about it. That's the problem, man. We're too scared to dive deep into our own lives, into the shit that made us who we are. But that's where the real beauty is, man. We're all fucked up in some way. That's what makes us human. I'm jacked up, but guess what? I figured out my own process to get unjack me. That's how I train my brain. And that's why I think different. My part-time savage used to be running 50 miles a week. But then that wasn't enough. I'd be out there hitting 10 miles and my mind would start to say, okay, you're good, that's enough. But then that inner demon I let out every morning, he comes back and says, no, bitch, not today. Somewhere out there, someone's doing 12, 13, 14 miles. And if you stop now, when you meet that motherfucker, you won't be ready. So what did I do? Goggins kept running. I'm not fucking happy. People look at me and say, look at his eyes, man. He's got demons in his eyes. Yeah, I look like I'm carrying something heavy. Why? Because I am. But the biggest thing they don't get is that I'm not fulfilled. I'm not sitting here smiling and laughing all the damn time. And people miss the point completely. They see a man who's locked in, laser focused, someone who dug deep inside himself and found a treasure most people never even know exists. I found something in me that most will never fucking find because they're not willing to go there. My journey isn't like yours or anyone else's, and that's why I don't judge people. I get judged all the damn time for how I look, my eyes, the fact that I'm not constantly smiling or joking around. But let me tell you, it's easy to smile when things are going good. It's easy to be happy when life's handing you roses. But that's not the real test. I train myself for the shit times, the bad days, the suffering. Most people never train for that. They want to fast forward through the misery, skip the pain, skip the suffering, and go straight to peace. They want to cover up life's real shit with a nice fluffy blanket and pretend everything's okay. But guess what? That's fucking impossible. You don't find peace by avoiding the war inside you. You have to step into that hellhole, confront the things that fucked you up, and go to war with them. That's the only way. And I'm here to show you how. But don't expect me to smile while I'm showing you the way. This is a hard fucking journey, man. It's real. It's uncomfortable as hell. And that's the point. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. Here's the thing, man. Everyone starts at fucking zero when it comes to pain. I don't care who you are. We've all got that thing deep inside that bothers us. Every single person walking this earth is insecure about something. You might not be thinking about that shit when you're going through physical pain, but trust me, your mind is dragging that baggage along with you. All the crap life's throwing at you, those dungeons your life created are right there with you. And most people quit because they don't have the mental fucking tools to push through to the other side. The first thing you got to do is figure out why the hell you're doing it in the first place. In SEAL training, in any kind of special ops training, most people quit because their mind is always comfortable. They sit on their couch watching the Discovery Channel, Navy SEAL documentaries, all cozy in their 72-degree house, thinking I can do that, no problem. But they don't understand what it really takes to go deep, to find more of themselves. The real them is afraid, likes comfort, wants to be told they're doing just fine. They want to live in a world that pats them on the back instead of telling them the hard truth that'll actually make them better. That's where this whole shit starts. I don't need it. I'm good. Bullshit. Why do you still do this? Why are you sitting in that chair right now leading people? Because it's not just about you anymore. You're setting the example. People watch you get up at 3, 4, 5 in the morning, busting your ass, and they're following your lead. That's why you do it. It's no longer about being comfortable. It's not about you anymore. Your mindset has to change. God gave you everything you wanted. Now it's payback time. You got to start paying that debt to the people counting on you. You're suffering for a reason. So when people ask, why the fuck do you get up at 6 a.m. every day? It's not just for you. It's so you can set the damn example for everyone else around you. We want to be the best among average people. People ask, how do you stay hungry, Goggins? How do you keep going after all you've accomplished? Simple. I don't rest on my fucking laurels like most guys do. I see it all the time. People finish buds, they graduate, they hit a major goal, and then they get comfortable. They sit back and wonder, why am I losing my edge? What's going on? It's because once they hit the top of that mountain, they think they're done. But guess what happens when you reach the top? If you're not building another fucking mountain to climb, you're sliding right back down. That's why you feel weak. That's why you lose that fire. You got to keep building, keep pushing. Because once you think you've made it, that's when the real fall begins. Keep building mountains and stay fucking hungry. That right there, that's fucking mediocrity. So many people are living in that space, but they got a nice looking resume. They hit 1 home run, struck gold once, and now they're coasting. They think they're good, but they don't realize they've gone soft. They're just another one-timer, man. They blew it open once, made some money, hit a goal, and now they're just sitting there thinking they've made it. Guess what? You're mediocre now. These people hit the gym, they get jacked, they look the part, run fast, lift heavy, but all they're doing is dressing up a weak-ass mind. You're building a bigger, stronger quitter. You're out there getting your body right, but your mind is still soft as shit. So the second adversity hits, you're standing there like, damn, what's wrong? I'm in the best shape of my life. Why am I folding? Because your mind never got to work. It takes years, fucking years, to get over that mental hump. And it's because you keep avoiding it. You go back to the drawing board over and over, looking for that shortcut, that easy win. But here's the thing, man, I live for that feeling you get after battling through all that failure, through the grind, when you finally figure out the equation. Whatever it is that gets you to the top, when you finally crack it, there's nothing like that feeling. But let me tell you, you don't get that feeling without fucking up first. I failed again, and then I failed some more. Each time I fuck up, I'm learning. I'm piecing it together. You start to feel the momentum building before you even hit the goal. That success is coming. And when you finally succeed, that feeling is fucking unreal. You take that victory, that success built on failure, and you put it in your cookie jar. You tell yourself, I'm going to need this again down the road, and I'll come back for it. Every failure builds that strength, and you store it up for when shit really gets tough. But the thing that scares me the most, losing touch with my mind, man, the mind is the best fucking thing in the world. How you train it, how you push it, how you sharpen it, that's what separates the great from the average. People rely on their headphones, their phones, Googling for answers, but none of that is going to help you when life punches you in the face. None of that shit gets you out of the fire dot. I went into everything in my life knowing failure was a real fucking possibility. Navy SEAL training, 3 times before I made it. 3. But I kept going back because I knew that failure wasn't the end, it was the beginning. You watch a movie where the hero keeps getting knocked down, keeps failing, but in the end they rise. And when they finally succeed, you feel that shit in your bones. It's fucking incredible. That's the same thing with life, man. You got to be willing to fail and fail again until you crack the code. And when you do, that success is sweeter than anything you've ever tasted. Hell yeah, I become the fucking movie. I don't just watch it, I feel it. You know, when you watch Rocky get his ass kicked, fighting through all that failure, that's what I want. That feeling of grinding through the pain, the setbacks, the struggle. And let me tell you, if you're still worried about what somebody did to you years ago, then you're being a little bitch to yourself. You ain't out there squeezing the last bit of your soul out of every fucking day. That's what this is about. When you're truly grinding, putting in the work, I ain't got time to give a damn about your sorry ass. Why? Because tomorrow, guess what? I'm back in the grind again. And the day after that, more grind. Man, I don't have time to bank your hate to let your bullshit sit in my head. The grind filters all that out, man. There's no room for hate when you're grinding. It cleans you out, makes you grow the fuck up. That's the truth. People don't get it. There's real joy in the grind, man. There's joy in suffering. It scrubs all the weakness, all the hate, and all the excuses out of you. That's where the growth happens. And when you embrace it, that's where you find true peace. For me, that's everlasting peace right there. The mind has always got the upper hand on you. Why? Because it knows all your weak spots, your fears, your insecurities. It knows where they hide, and it'll throw them in your face every time shit gets hard. Let me be real with you. I want to quit every damn day. But most people, their dreams die in that suffering. And I'm not just talking about physical suffering either. I'm talking about emotional, spiritual shit. It could be a relationship. It could be the pain of life itself. That's where most people fold. But not you. Not if you learn to love the grind. That's where you get to that next level. When you're deep in the fucking trenches of suffering, man, that's when you start giving up on the very shit you wanted the most. I know that feeling all too well. When I was going through pararescue training, I wanted to be a pararescue man so damn bad, but that water, man, that water haunted my ass. It owned me. And when the pain, the suffering got too heavy, my dream fucking died right there. It was like a piece of me died with it. If I hadn't found the Navy SEALs and found a way to conquer my demons, to face that shit head on every single day, I wouldn't be standing here today. I would have stayed in that hole, buried under my failures. Here's the thing, man, you can't outrun your demons. No matter how fast, how far, or how hard you try, they always know where you're hiding. They know your weakness is better than you do. And they'll find you every damn time. Trust me on that. So I'll leave you with this. Don't fucking stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. When the work is finished, that's when you can rest. My whole life, man, I was chasing strength. I didn't have a shred of it. I was a weak-ass kid, scared of everything. My dad, he beat the living shit out of me, stripped away whatever little strength I had left. I was strong at first as a kid, but protecting my mom, standing up to my dad, that fear was always there. He'd beat the fuck out of me for every little thing, and it just crushed me, fear on me. So I wanted to be the guy with courage, the guy with strength. I was searching for it in every corner. When I saw a strong man, I thought maybe he's the one who can teach me. But nobody knew my story. Nobody knew my pain. I kept that shit locked away. So I left school, and those guys, those strong men, they stayed on my mind. We suffer every day. And that's the fucking truth. We do shit that sucks every single day. Why? Because when the real hard shit hits, when life fucks you up, you're ready for it. That's where growth happens. That's how I became comfortable in the discomfort. Suffering became my way of life. What I realized is just to become the man I wanted to be, I had to own that I was the weakest motherfucker God ever created. But I never blamed God for that shit. Never. I just knew if I wanted to change that, I had to become the hardest man alive. Am I the hell? I don't know. But I damn sure aimed for it. When I was that kid, bullied, skipping school with zero self-esteem, I knew the only person who could flip the script, the only one who could turn this weak-ass kid into a fucking savage was me. And that's the truth. You want to change, you want to become something, it's all on you. The only way I could turn my weak-ass life around was to throw myself into the deepest, darkest fucking pits of hell, to put myself through the worst shit, imaginable shit most people can't even wrap their heads around. That's the only way to build this mind to be bulletproof. The only way to train your brain to handle anything life throws at you is by callousing it, toughening it up through pain, suffering, and relentless fucking grind. You want to know how you get mentally tough? It's not some motivational quote on a wall. It's a fucking lifestyle. It's not about that hype. It's about what you do when no one's watching. When that alarm goes off in the morning and every bone in your body wants to hit the snooze button, don't get your ass up. Don't want to make your bed, make that fucking bed. Don't feel like running, go out there and hit the pavement anyway. Don't want to swim, dive in. Don't want to clean your house, clean that shit. Don't want to study, crack open that book. It's all about doing the shit you don't want to do. That's how you start to callous your mind day by day. It ain't glamorous, it ain't fun, but you've got to do something that sucks every single day of your life. You grow in that discomfort. The only way you're ever going to make it through to the other side, the only way you're going to level up is by embracing suffering. You have to welcome it. Pain isn't the enemy, it's your fucking teacher. To grow, you must suffer, period. Some people get it, some people won't. Some live their whole lives in comfort, never really test their limits. They might live to be 100 years old, but what the hell does that even mean if you never pushed yourself? Motivation. Fuck motivation. That shit's a joke. It comes and goes depending on how you feel. You can't rely on that. You got to build a lifestyle of discipline. That dark side, that's a place I created. It's an evil, twisted fucking space in my mind where nothing can hurt me. I go there when I need to. And when I do, there's very little that can touch me. It's not for everyone, but that's what it takes to become unbreakable. That's what it takes to be truly free from the bullshit. Look, man, I've been through some heavy shit in my life. And when you're in the middle of the storm, you forget all the shit you've already survived. That's where the cookie jar comes in. It's that reminder, that mental stash of everything you've already conquered. When you're doubting yourself, you got to reach into that jar and pull out those moments. I went through 3 whole weeks and made it through 2 of them. I went through Ranger School. I saw some brutal shit. My mom's soon-to-be husband got murdered. I faced all that. I survived that shit. And when I remind myself of what I've been through, I remember how fucking strong I really am. That strength, it's always in you. You just got to remind yourself of who the fuck you are when hard times come knocking. The bad times try to take over your mind, man, make you forget. But when I look at where I am today, I'm fucking amazed at what a human being can endure and still keep going. You know, sometimes I talk about myself in the third person and people don't get it. But I built this version of Goggins out of scraps, man. There was no blueprint, no manual. I wasn't a mechanic or a carpenter. I didn't know how to put together a human being from nothing. My mom didn't teach me. My dad sure as hell didn't teach me. Life taught me. Correction life beat my ass into the man I am now. And I embraced every fucking lesson. So I started putting this scrap metal together piece by piece. I was like, I wonder what the fuck's gonna happen. See, the mind's always got the tactical advantage over your ass. Why? Because it knows your fears, your insecurities. It knows exactly where the fuck they're hiding. And you know what? You're alone. You might have a shrink you see every week. You might got that best friend you call up when shit gets rough. But the truth is there's 24 hours in a day where you're alone with that voice in your head. And that brain is talking to you in all kinds of fucked up ways, trying to drag your ass into every dark corner it can find. If you can't control that shit, if you let that brain control you, you're fucked. Game over. You got to be the one telling your mind where you're going, how you're going to get there, and what the fuck you're willing to do to make it happen. You got to grab that shit by the throat and make it submit. If you don't, it's a trap, you lose. You got way more in the tank than you think. All I did was grab that damn shovel. And that shovel, it wasn't just digging, it was carving out my own damn path. Yeah, there's some boulders up ahead and maybe the next guy's flying past you, making it look easy. But here's the thing, man, life's a grind. It's a journey. And it ain't always pretty. Some days you wake up with that woe is me bullshit. Feeling like, man, this shit sucks. Why the hell is my life so damn structured? Why? But then I snap out of it. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that noise. I'm not tapping out. I sit down and ask myself, so you want to be average now, just another nobody roaming the earth, clueless about the power they got inside, cool with living mediocre? Hell fucking no. The worst thing that ever happened to me was losing myself. Or maybe I never even had myself to begin with. I didn't know who I was. Self-esteem, that shit didn't exist. But I found it through grinding, working out, pushing through every mental barrier. It took everything I had to learn to grow. But once I got a taste of that self-esteem, the door started opening up. I was out here changing hairstyles, sagging my pants, putting on a show like I was somebody. But I was lost. I was a fucking clown, man. And one day I woke up like, this ain't where you belong, motherfucker. From there, I started to learn piece by piece through pain, through suffering. Every day I was learning, getting smarter, getting harder, embracing that grind. Before I knew it, I had built this badass machine. I'm looking at it like, how the fuck did I pull that off? I'll tell you how, because I had all the damn tools. And you know where I got them? From every single failure, every painful moment, trying to build this motherfucker who's Goggins. It's called raw accountability. Not that watered down, feel good accountability. Nah, man, if you're fat, you look in the damn mirror and say, I'm fucking fat. No sugarcoating, no bullshit. You can't coddle yourself and expect to get anywhere. You got to make a list of everything you hate doing. I'm talking a long ass list. If making phone calls makes you cringe, guess what your first mission is? Start making a ton of fucking calls. Why? Because that shit owns you. And if you don't face it, it'll keep running your life. But once you dive into it, start making those calls, something flips. You're no longer a slave to that fear. You take control one call at a time. I hear all this noise about triple down on your strengths, man. Fuck that. That's a cop-out. When you're scared, when you're lacking courage, you got to triple down on your weaknesses and beat them into submission. That's where the real growth is. You don't like making calls, fine. Today, you're dialing 100 times. You're going to force yourself to face that shit. Look, man, when I was younger, life made the world feel like this massive, overwhelming place full of endless possibilities. But my mind has shrunk that shit down. It trapped me inside this tiny ass box. I was a prisoner to my own fears, insecurities, self-doubt. All these walls I built around myself, convincing myself that this is all I'm capable of. I'm scared of this. I'm insecure over here. There's no way I can do that. The world felt small as hell. But then I realized if I start tearing down these walls, breaking through these barriers, I can make that world big as fuck again. I could become a Navy SEAL. Shit, I was terrified of water, but guess what? I said, fuck it, I'm diving in. Why would someone who's scared of the damn water go become a Navy SEAL? Because we don't just swim in it, we live in that shit. That's the mindset. I wasn't about to let fear dictate my life. If I didn't face that shit head on, you wouldn't know my name today. I was a 300-pound nobody who could barely read and write. And now my book is up there just a couple spots behind Michelle Obama. How did I get there? Because I was afraid. But I faced it. And when you do that, you unlock the door to everything. I used to think nobody understood what the fuck I was going through. But that mentality, it's a trap. It'll keep you stuck in the same damn place forever. Everybody's fighting their own battles. When you sit there like you don't get me, all you're doing is building another wall. There are people out there who understand, who've been in the trenches too. But you got to be willing to strip yourself down and stop hiding. You think you're the only one struggling? Hell no, man. But you got to get real with yourself, face that fear and say, I'm not staying in this cage anymore. That's when you unlock the world. That's when everything opens up. And a lot of people out there understand your pain, but you got to quit hiding behind all that bullshit. Stop pretending like you're the only one going through it. We all suffer, man, every damn day. That's just what we do. We do the shit that sucks on purpose. So when life throws more suck your way, you're ready for that motherfucker. That's how I came up. I got real comfortable being uncomfortable. And now that shit's just a way of life. Look, man, when I started this journey, I saw myself as the weakest piece of shit God ever put on this earth. But I didn't sit there blaming God or anyone else for my misery. I took that shit on my back and said, all right, I'm going to flip this script. I wanted to go from the weakest motherfucker alive to the hardest man God ever created. Now, am I that? Who the fuck knows? But I had a goal. I wanted to be proud of the man I became. I wanted to bury that liar, that insecure little bitch I used to be. I wanted to look at myself and say, hell yeah, I'm proud of you. If I drop dead right now, I want to know I gave it everything I had. I'm still searching for more of myself. The only way I can get closer is by shutting out all the noise. The world's only getting louder, faster. The more it speeds up, the easier it is to lose sight of who the fuck you are. That's why you got to go dark sometimes. You got to get quiet inside your own head. Step away from all the bullshit people, parties, distractions. Yeah, we love being around people. We love talking. We love that social shit. But there's power in being alone. It's also okay to be messed up. It's okay to say, you know what, man, I'm fucked up. But you got to face the truth. You got to dig deep, find out who you are, and open those dark chambers you keep locked away. You got to step into that darkness and fight those demons. Get in there, look that motherfucker in the eye and say, what's up? Find that dark place in your mind. Figure it out. It might take months. It might take years. But you got to find your purpose. And when you do, you start moving different. You start attacking life with a new level of intensity. It's easy to sit back and accept, I'm just not good enough, or I wasn't made for that. Yeah, maybe you ain't going to be LeBron James. But let me tell you something right now, when it comes to sheer willpower and guts, we can do a hell of a lot more than we think. It ain't about being the best. It's about being the hardest motherfucker you can be. It's about breaking through every barrier, smashing through every excuse, and fighting like hell to come out the other side. And that's how you find out who the fuck you really are. We got way more inside us than we ever give ourselves credit for. But we love that soft ass mentality that says, hey man, you're not feeling it today. It's all good, bro. Kick back, order a pizza, watch the game. That's the shit we crave because it's easy. That's why most people can't stand my ass because I don't play that. I'm hard as fuck on myself. If I'm tearing into me, you best believe I don't give a damn about coddling you. I don't need it. I'm good. People keep asking, why do you still do this shit? Listen, man, you're a leader. Right here, right now, you're sitting in that chair talking to thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people. That's why you do it. When you get up at 3, 4, 5 in the damn morning, it's not about you anymore. It's about setting the example for everyone else to follow. What drives you now is simple. It ain't about you anymore. You're comfortable, right? You're good. That's exactly why it's time to flip the script. God gave you everything you ever asked for. Now it's time to pay up. It's time to start paying your dues by suffering and setting that example. People ask, why get up at 6 a.m.? Because you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it so you can walk in and set the bar high for everybody else. We don't aim to be the best among a bunch of average ass people. We're here to crush that shit. And when adversity hits, you're out here like, damn, I'm so fit. I thought I was tough. What the hell's wrong? What's wrong is your mind is still soft as fuck. Life didn't just hit me and beat my ass down. I was flat out knocked out, lying on the canvas in the 12th round of a 15-round heavyweight bout. I was done. But while the world was counting me out, something flipped inside me. When that challenger turned his back, I was dragging my ass up off the mat. And guess what? I took the next 3 rounds. That's what Can't Hurt Me is all about. I was hurt, man, bad as hell, dealing with all kinds of shit for the first 26 years of my life. And that fight ain't over. Every damn day I still face it. But that mentality can't hurt me. No matter what gets thrown at you, you step up, you face it head on, stare it down, and move the fuck forward. My father, the kids who bullied me, my learning disabilities, man, I had all these scars. Stuttering, failing over and over, getting knocked down and beat down. But I had 2 choices: overcome that shit or let it bury me. And during that journey, I started building this new person, this beast. People started looking at me like I was some kind of superhero. But deep down, I knew the truth. I knew where I came from. And one day I told myself, you're going to have to lay it all out there. Because it's real easy to stay right here where people think you're great, where you've already established yourself. It's comfortable. It's safe. But that ain't what helps people. What helps EM is knowing what's possible. And the only way to do that is to say, this is where I came from, and where I came from is straight up hell. See, what this world loves to do is put labels on people who do great things. The moment you slap a title on someone's superhuman 1%, you give yourself an out. You say, well, I can't do that. That's not for me. It's special. God made EM different. Let me tell you something. There ain't no special people. There's no magic in that. What there is a special mindset. And that shit don't get handed to you. You create it. You forge it yourself every damn day. That's why I wrote that book the way I did. So you could look at my story and see the truth, how I came from nothing and had to fight my way out of every damn thing that tried to hold me down. I'm taking away all the excuses. Forget all the labels, crazy, superhuman, they're all bullshit. I'm just a man who chose to step up and get hard when life tried to break me. You can do it too, but you've got to strip away the lies, stop hiding behind the comfort, and get your ass to work. Ain't no shortcuts here. It's going to hurt. And it's going to take every ounce of you to get up when life tries to knock you the fuck out. But that's where you find out what you're made of. That's where the real growth happens. It's already pulling you down the path of least resistance, even while you're reading about what it takes to be hard. That's how strong the mind is. It's always looking for a way to make you soft again. So you got to fight back. You got to remind yourself constantly to go back to those first chapters. Remember what I came through and understand that you can go through your own version of hell and come out stronger. But first, you got to dissect your own life, do a live autopsy on yourself. I'm out here training my mind, my body, my spirit to be one, to be unbreakable. Because the life I've lived throws everything at you. And if you're not mentally and physically ready for it, you're going to crumble. Plain and simple. You'll be good for nothing. When we're suffering, that's when we forget how damn hard we really are. That's the trick, man. That's what suffering does. It tests you. It's a gut check. Suffering ain't nothing but life asking, how bad do you really want it? It's the realest test you'll ever face. Now, where I'm at today, I found that place. For me, it's everlasting peace, but not because I stopped suffering. Hell no, man, it's because I learned to thrive in it. That's what separates the hard from the soft. That's what sets you apart. You got to dig deep, silence all that noise, and go after what's yours. You got to be relentless, and you got to keep pushing when life tries to knock your ass down. That's what it's all about. Man, every day I'm running. Every day I'm lifting. While most people are setting finish lines, I'm setting a whole new damn standard. I don't have off days. I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done. That's the mindset. When I was younger, I didn't have shit for goals. It wasn't even about goals. It was about a to-do list. Because if you don't got a list of shit you need to handle every day, guess what? You're going to fade into nothing. You'll just sit back and waste away. Your mind is the deadliest weapon you got. And if you can't take control of it, you're screwed. You got to tell that brain where you want to go, how you're going to get there, and then force it to do the work. If you don't control your mind, life's going to eat you alive. A real human being, someone who's fulfilled, they don't need to tear other people down to feel strong. All they want to do is build people up. So if someone's calling you out, bullying you, trying to break you down, they're fighting some deep-rooted shit inside themselves. When you quit, you're telling your brain, we're done. There's no growth when you quit. But when you're deep in the pain, drowning, suffering, hurting, and you say, I ain't going anywhere, your mind has no choice but to expand. It's got to grow, got to adapt, got to push through. That's when the real work begins, when you're hurting, and you force your brain to figure it out. You got compartments in your mind that only get unlocked when you refuse to quit. You start to engage parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. When you're suffering and you decide, I'm not backing down, your mind adapts to that new level of intensity. It starts to operate on a whole different frequency. And before you know it, that shit that used to break you is just another Friday. The only way to get anything done is to work your ass off. Can't remember what you read for that test, read it again. Still not getting it, write it out. Do whatever the fuck it takes. You think I want to spend hours just to understand one page? Hell no. But guess what? I did it anyway. And you can too, but only if you're willing to suffer through the struggle and keep pushing, even when it hurts like hell. I can't swim. I'm negative buoyant. So what? Go back again and again and again. That's how you got to approach it. Keep showing up until you figure it the fuck out. I learned that if you just keep coming back, no matter how much it sucks, no matter how many times you fail, eventually your mind's going to say, shit, I guess we're doing this because he's not stopping. Your brain will adapt, but only if you force it to. Look, man, the mind always has the tactical advantage over you. It knows where your fears are hiding, where your insecurities are tucked away. It knows how to use that shit against you. And the truth is, you're alone in this battle. You can see a shrink, talk to a friend, whatever, but there are 24 hours in the day where it's just you and your brain is going to try to drag you down every chance it gets. It wants to own you, control you, pull you into those dark corners where you doubt yourself and back down. If you don't learn to control your own mind, if you let that shit control you, you're fucked. Plain and simple. You got to tell your brain where you want to go, how you're going to get there, and you got to be relentless about it. If you don't take control, it's game over. We've all got way more inside us than we think. I wasn't born some unstoppable badass. I just picked up that damn shovel and started digging my own path. There's boulders, setbacks, and people who might be miles ahead of you, but that doesn't mean shit. Some days you're going to wake up with a bad attitude, feeling like, fuck this structured life. Why am I even doing this? But then I remind myself, you want to be average. You want to live like everybody else, wandering around, not even touching the power inside you, content with being mediocre. Fuck that. The worst thing that ever happened to me was that I lost myself. Hell, I never even had myself to begin with. I didn't know who the fuck I was. I had zero self-esteem, but I found it through grinding, through suffering, through learning. And believe me, learning was a bitch too. But once I found that confidence, once I started building that shit for real, doors started opening up. I stopped giving a damn about what people thought, about being judged. Oh, if I say this, are they going to laugh at me? If I start now, am I going to get mocked? Who gives a shit? The day I stopped caring about all that nonsense was the day my life started changing. It wasn't fast. It wasn't some overnight transformation. But little by little, I built myself up. And now I'm unstoppable. And you can be too, but only if you're willing to go back again and again and fight for it every damn day. Man, I was a damn mess. I could barely read or write. And there I was, a junior in high school going nowhere fast. I was fronting trying to figure out who the hell I was through some made up character, rocking different hairstyles, sagging my pants like I was somebody. But I wasn't nobody, man. I was lost, a damn clown, looking in the mirror like, what the fuck are you doing? This ain't what you're supposed to be. And that's where it gets hard. The harder shit gets, the more you start fighting back, but not in a good way. You push back against the struggle like it ain't supposed to be there. And the more you do that, the more it's going to beat your ass. Everybody's scared to call it like it is. We live in this world where if you're fat, nobody can tell you that you're fat without everybody getting offended. Man, fuck that, man. I was fat too. I know what it feels like to haul your big ass out of bed every morning feeling like the weight of the world is crushing your chest. I know the shame. I know the fucking struggle. I can want it for you all I want, but I can't want it more than you. Too many people want shit the easy way. Sorry, motherfucker, it ain't easy. So they start building this bullshit narrative about how it's okay to stay soft, how it's okay to settle. Nah, man. The narrative should be you need to work harder. You need to sharpen your mind. You need to dig deeper. Telling people it's okay to be weak is doing them a disservice. Is it okay that you ain't willing to fight for your own damn life? Hell no, that ain't okay. That's unacceptable. I ain't buying into that bullshit narrative. If I accepted that weak ass mentality, I'd still be that same lost kid going nowhere. The truth is, this world's set up to hand out get out of jail free cards like it's Monopoly. Everything's okay now, and God forbid you call someone out on their shit. You can't say a motherfucking thing without getting crucified. But I'm taking you there with me. I'm dragging your ass down into the trenches with me. You want to learn, then I got to show you the whole damn journey. The house I grew up in back in Buffalo, New York, it was on a street called Paradise. Ain't that some shit? The furthest thing from paradise, I got my ass kicked every day on Paradise Road. That's where I came from. That's where I started to figure out what the fuck I was made of. The problem is we're scared to dig into the truth of our lives, scared to look at the fucked up shit that shaped us into who we are. But that's where the beauty lies, man. We're all messed up in different ways. That's what makes us human. I'm jacked up, but I figured out my process. I found my way to start unjacking myself. And my path ain't gonna look like yours. You might be able to go from point A to point B. I gotta grind my way from point C to D, then circle back around to F. But guess what? I'm still gonna get there. That's how I train my mind. That's what makes me different. So don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to do the hard shit, to face the ugly truth about where you come from and what you've been through. Because that's where you find out who the fuck you really are. Man, you talking about being a part-time savage, fuck that. You running 50 miles a week, patting yourself on the back like you did something. That ain't shit. I used to think the same way. I'd be out there running my ass off, getting to 10 miles and telling myself, good job, we can call it a day. But then that demon inside me, yeah, the one I let out every damn morning, the one that walks the streets at night, lurking in the shadows, he'd show up. And he'd say, hell no, motherfucker. You think you're done. There's somebody out there, someone you don't know, never met, who's running 12, 13, 14 miles and going even harder. And when you cross paths with that dude, you ain't going to be ready. So guess what? Goggins kept running. I pushed past that limit because on the other side of what I call suffering, whatever the hell you want to call it, there's a whole different world. It's a place most people ain't got the balls to explore. You got to go deep into that dark, nasty place if you want to see it. We stay stuck in our comfort zones, but if you push yourself to that extreme, it's like unlocking a new universe. It's like you're an astronaut who finally discovered what's out there in the unknown. It's always been there, you just never had the guts to go through all the shit it takes to find it. And then you look back and ask yourself, why didn't I go through all that hell? Because there's a whole other universe inside your own damn mind. A world that most people are too scared to even touch. People come up to me like, Goggins, what's your secret? How do you crush it in business? How do you keep pushing? What's your secret sauce? You want to know the secret? Look at these hands, motherfucker. It's hard work. Plain and simple. I'm not some magician. Ain't no magic tricks here. The real shit is, you got to wake your ass up and accept that today's going to suck. And guess what? When you make it through that day, you're going to have to wake up the next day and do it all over again because that's the life you signed up for. Unless you're one of those lazy fatasses who struck it lucky with some half-assed idea and now gets to sit on his ass collecting checks, you're going to have to grind. For most of us, it's about showing up every single day, punching that mental time clock and embracing the suck. Nobody helped me out, man. My old man had my mom so messed up. She was working 3 jobs, going to college full time just to keep us afloat. I was on my own looking in the mirror every morning at a scared ass kid going nowhere. Most people would have crumbled, sat around crying for help. But the best thing that ever happened to me, ain't nobody give a shit about me. Nobody gave me a damn thing. Back then, it wasn't like now where everybody's ready to swoop in, tell you you're special, and protect your feelings. And back then, they didn't give a fuck. The KKK was marching in our damn 4th of July parades. That's how twisted that town was. But you know what? That's the kind of shit that forges a savage. It's sink or swim. And if you're too soft to get up and fight, you're done. You want the secret to being a savage. Embrace the grind. Lean into the pain. And stop looking for a way out. There ain't no easy way. There's just the hard way, the way that builds you brick by brick into a motherfucker who don't back down from nothing. So keep running, keep suffering, and keep digging deeper than you ever thought you could. That's the only way you're going to find out who the fuck you really are. I had to face the hard truth that I wasn't going to be some soft-ass kid for the rest of my life. The only way to change that, suffer. I had to toughen up. And I ain't talking about just muscles, I'm talking about the brain. I had to build calluses in my mind. I realized if I was ever going to become the man I needed to be, I had to stop seeing myself as that weak, worthless, scared little kid. I used to think I was the weakest motherfucker God ever put on this earth. But guess what? I never blamed God for the shit he put me through. I wanted to change that narrative. I wanted to be the hardest man to ever walk this planet. Am I that now? Hell, I don't know, but you got to have a goal. And back when I was sitting there, skipping school, getting my ass bullied, and feeling like I was nothing, that goal was simple. The only person who's going to turn this shit around is me. Nobody else is coming to save me. And the only way I could do that was to put myself through the most brutal, painful experiences imaginable. That was the only way I knew to build a mind that could take on anything life threw at it by callousing my mind through pure suffering. Look, man, I didn't have a coach, a trainer, or even 2 damn pennies to rub together. I didn't know shit about losing weight or how to even start. But what did I do? I just worked. I just sacrificed. And through that process, I found all these tools inside myself I never knew existed. But here's the thing, man, I would have never found any of that if I hadn't put myself in the most uncomfortable, miserable place possible. We all want to be tough, right? But we're out here looking for it in easy ass, cushy environments. Newsflash, you won't find toughness there. You won't find it while you're sitting on your couch or playing it safe. I was searching for it everywhere, but the only place I found it was when I was drowning in life, barely keeping my head above water. You got to say, fuck it. I'm going to figure out how to backstroke through this shit. I've been through hell, literally. 3 hell weeks, Ranger school, and a lifetime of obstacles. But that last 30 miles of a race, that was the moment I realized we're more than just human. We can reach a space that most people will never tap into if we're willing to suffer. And I mean really fucking suffer. When your brain and body connect in that place, you can do anything. That 30 miles changed everything for me. I was wrecked in more pain than I'd ever felt in my life. I felt like death was right there, waiting to take me. But I broke that shit down into tiny pieces. I was so driven, not motivated, cause motivation is bullshit. It comes and goes. But when you're driven, nothing in front of you can stand a chance. It's going to get destroyed. I sat there driven as hell, ready to destroy this race. It wasn't about anyone else anymore. It was me against me. I took that shit personally. I broke it down. First step, get some food. Next step, stand the fuck up. Then I was walking. My wife at the time said, "You're not going to make it." I hit mile 81. And when she said that, something flipped. I ran the last 19 miles nonstop. People hear this and think I'm crazy, that I'm sadistic, but I'm not. If you knew where I came from, you'd understand I was just a scared ass kid who found the drive and the will to become something more. Failure is not the end. It's how you learn and grow. I've failed more times than I can count. But that's where the growth happens. You go back, learn from it, and come back stronger every damn time. And people don't have a fucking clue about the amount of work I put in to be who I am today. There's not enough hours in the damn day to get everything done. But you know what? I don't talk about it. I don't brag about it. And nobody even knows about it. 99.9% of the shit I did to get here was done alone. Out there running in the freezing cold, scorching heat, suffering in pools, trying to figure out how to swim, or sitting in a room by myself teaching my dumb ass how to read and write. No one saw that. No cameras, no podcasts, no who's David Goggins. It was just me pushing myself, just trying to make it into the military. And don't get it twisted. That's something anyone can do. It's easy. But trying to teach myself to read and write, that was some next level shit. That blow Rocky out of the damn water. I've been through all kinds of shit in my life, and yeah, I'm proud of what I built. But you know what I'm even more proud of? I built it with no audience, no cheering section. You find out who the fuck you really are when there's nobody around, when you're out there on mile 75 of a 150-mile race, broken down, body wrecked, mind defeated. It's just you and your own mind, no applause, no encouragement, just you. And I stayed that way for damn near 30 years, just grinding, trying to figure this shit out. And once you do figure it out, you look at yourself and say, all right, so you're broken now. Is that who you want to be? And for me, the answer was fuck yes. Your mind is always trying to take the easy way out. It's always trying to avoid pain, avoid resistance. But here's the thing, man, growth only happens when there's friction. And most people don't grow because the second they hit some resistance, they run the other way, but not me. When friction hit, my mind was like, oh shit, let's bail. You're a fraud. You've lied your whole life. You're not smart. You can barely fucking read. That's what my mind kept telling me. And every time shit got hard, my mind was screaming, you're not good enough. Get the hell out. But the difference is I didn't listen. I forced my mind and body to connect, to push through the bullshit. And that's what separates me from everyone else. Stay hard.